What's going on, guys? I'm joined by Mick McCabe, a two-time winner of Sportswriter of the Year out of Michigan. Mick has covered high school and college athletics at the Detroit Free Press for the last 51 years, where he earned the nickname the Son of Swami for his predictions, and he has been inducted to the Michigan Sports Hall of Fame. And like I said, this is his second time winning. So a really, really awesome accomplishment from Mick. So Mick, thank you again for joining us and congratulations.
Sure. Okay.
So,
and
yeah.
Pants are optional, right?
Yeah, of course. Okay. Yeah. Always. So, Mick, so you've been in the industry for a while, but I want to go back a little bit to, when you first started or maybe in the middle of your career, but what was your career path like to get to where you are now? Like, did you always know that you wanted to be in this industry? Did you kind of discover that love in college? How did it go for you?
Yeah, I went back to high school, really. I signed up for my sophomore year an English/journalism class. So I figured, okay, why not? And that was the first and probably last academic success I had in high school, was that class. And so it led to writing for the school newspaper. And when our pastor at Cabrini wrote a column in the Detroit News that high school football should be abolished, and I wrote, a retort to that, and he came marching over to the high school with the high school paper crumpled up. I said, yeah, maybe this might work. So ever since then, I decided I wanted to write for a newspaper, and the Detroit Free Press was the best one in town. And so, every decision I made after that was, is this going to help me get a job at the Detroit Free Press?
Awesome. And you got in there and you stayed for a very, very long time, which is impressive in itself, of course, because when I ask a lot of people during these interviews, a lot of the other award winners, what their greatest accomplishment is in this business, a lot of them say it's just staying, and continuing to stay in the industry and perform at a high level.
Yeah, survival is always pretty good.
Right.
Yeah. Surviving.
So what has been your favorite part of your job over your career? What is it that keeps you wanting to come back and do your job at a high level? What do you enjoy the most?
Well, I enjoy almost everything, almost. I really don't like typing up the honorable mention list for the all-state teams and stuff like that. But I realize at the same time, that's going to be cut out by some kid on the honorable mention list, and he's going to have that, and they're going to keep it in their family for the rest of their lives.
Right.
And so even a little thing like honorable mentions, but I enjoy covering the games, but probably the best part is doing feature stories on kids, getting to meet kids from all different walks of life, and from the city of Detroit, up to the Upper Peninsula and St. Ignace, and all the way over to Menominee, stuff like that. That's the best part, getting to know the kids and trying to tell their story in a semi-coherent way.
Yeah, that's interesting too, because a lot of in past interviews as well with guys that worked in more local sports and in a more local area, they split, like they said something similar, like their favorite part is giving the athletes down there, so maybe some of the younger athletes, a voice and be able to tell their story. That's one of the most gratifying things, because like when I went to high school and I played sports, like there was barely even parents there, so it's like cool that some of these athletes get to have like people amplifying their voices and their stories being told, and that is really incredible.
Well, we have parents at games now.
Yeah,
we sure do.
Yeah,
mm-hmm. That's been the worst part. That's been the biggest change in the job over 51 years. Our parents. I mean, right. I hate parents. Right. They normal people, rational people, become absolutely raving lunatics when it comes to their kids and high school athletics, and they end up ruining it for their kid and coaches. or leaving the
Yeah.
profession because they just don't want to put up with this stuff from these imbecile morons.
Right. And I think we've all seen examples of that as well. Um, Now, Mick, what, like I touched on before, but what has the highlight of your career been thus far? It could be tangible, it could be intangible, but to you, what do you get the most? What did you get the most gratification from?
Well, probably doing the Ed Martin story, the guy who ended up giving a couple $100,000 to Chris Webber and some other guys in the Fab Five got some, and that it was gratifying to finally expose that, and it kind of Steve Fisher ended up getting fired. Weber couldn't. I mean, if Ed Martin had not died, I think Weber would have gone to jail for lying to a federal grand jury, and exposing that was, pretty important.
Right. Yeah, that was an incredible story, and just be able to write about that, I'm sure, was an incredible accomplishment and satisfying, like you said. So for people, they could be my age. I'm 21, a little bit younger, a little bit older, or people who are already in the industry but just need to get over a hump. What's the best piece of advice you could give people heading into the industry or who are already in the industry and need a little advice?
First of all, you're 21, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'm 50 years older than you. I could be your grandfather. This is crazy. For people starting out, just be relentless. Just work as hard as you can. Sometimes people, when they start like at the bottom, like I did as a copy boy, I want to be a writer. What am I doing here? Sharpening pencils and cleaning glue pots and going out and plugging parking meters for writers and going and getting coffee. That can be really frustrating. This is not what you want to do going on, but do the job that you have now as best as you can, and just show up early, stay late, do anything they ask, and look for an opening, look for an opportunity to make your mark. And eventually it's going to come.
Yeah, like I've been hearing that a lot as well. A lot of advice that's been given in these interviews has been, don't be too picky about that first job. Get your reps in when you can. Don't be afraid to ask for help, and things along those lines, right? Like do those things, and then you don't be impatient, right? Because
right,
you have to prove yourself first, and do whatever job you get the best you can, in a sense.
Yeah. Things have changed a lot since I started in 1970. I mean, there's no copy boys anymore. But there are opportunities. Our sports editor now, Kirkland Crawford, he started on the prep crew when he was still in high school, and he went to Central Michigan, came back, and he started, at a very at the entry level, and he just did the best job he could every single day, and he worked his way up, and now he's our sports editor.
It's amazing.
Now he's my boss, and he's the first African-American sports editor we ever had. And
incredible.
I mean, this guy did it the right way. And I mean, it's tremendous.
Yeah, it really is. But that is a great piece of advice, and I've been hearing that a lot as well. Now, Mick, since you are a second-time winner, have you been to awards weekend?
Yeah, in Salisbury. It was really cool.
Mm-hmm. And so can you explain how that experience was?
Well, it was really cool. I got to bring my first wife. It was, currently my wife too. You got, after 45 years, you have to have hope. It was really nice. The people there were just amazing. They were so nice. And, we had our own person who, took care of us every step of the way. She was always there. Oh my God. And you get to meet other people in the profession. Hal McCoy, who I went up to, who worked for in Cincinnati, and Dayton. And well, anyway, he started at the Free Press a million years ago. And I told him, we're still getting your mail from the Toledo Mud Hens. And he's a Hall of Fame guy. Oh my God. So it was great to meet him and some other really good writers. Mike Tirico, was the national sportscaster of the year. And it was great seeing him because I covered his wife, Debbie Gibberatz, when she played basketball and softball at Trenton High School.
Small world.
Before she went off to Syracuse. So it was really cool connecting with them too.
Small world. Yeah, that's incredible. I've been hearing a lot of stories. I'm sure it's like just a great feeling to be surrounded by like-minded people and people that, kind of understand your day-to-day in a sense. And those who, and maybe have been doing it longer than you, or people that are new and can learn from you. I think that is an awesome experience. So I'm glad you've been able to go and enjoyed it. But those are all the questions I have for you, Mick. Thank you again for coming on and joining us, and congratulations. If you want to thank anyone before we head out or say any last words, you can do that now.
Well, I'd like to thank whoever nominated and voted for me. I mean, this was definitely an upset. You can't vote for yourself. You can't nominate yourself. I mean, I guess probably the biggest thanks goes to Vladimir Putin. I mean, they couldn't influence the presidential election, so they influenced this one. So thank you, Vladimir.
Yeah, I was told to ask you if this was an upset.
It was definitely an upset. No question about it.
Awesome. Mm-hmm. Awesome. Well, thank you again, Mick, and congratulations.
Thank you.